love to fly up in the sky. Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the light. Adventure calls me day and night. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dream's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the drum's begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light.
Slope channel, and today we're taking this beauty again, the Airbus A220 from Synaptic, but it is going to be a very special flight, not only because we are giving Synaptic another chance, because we just want this plane to work. They recently released a brand new update that promised a little better performance for the aircraft, and that's one thing we're testing. The other thing we're testing is a little bit more promising. Actually, a user, and I'll place the link after the video below, after the video ends, a user actually created a mod for this plane to be capable of using CPDLC and Datalink. How about that? Something that Synaptic themselves couldn't do, they did it. Of course, Synaptic says that in the future it's preparing to bring those two features, but not right now. No, the plane does not have it right now. But someone put up their sleeves and they said, "Well, I'm going to do it," and they did it. And from what I've been testing already, it really does work. It's really amazing how integrated and how seamless it looks. It looks like it belongs to the plane actually, which is quite a feat, to be honest. And without further ado, let's jump right in and let's take a look at that. Alright, here we are in the cockpit, and here's Betsy. Say hello, Betsy. And let's get our plane prepped. So first things first, let's load our flight plan. So today we're going back to Portugal. We're going to Porto. And there we go, from Zurich to Porto. We're expecting a flight time of about 2 hours, but I'll be using time compression. 2 hours plus, so I think it's 2 hours 30 minutes, something like that. But I'll use time compression as I usually do to squeeze time a little bit. And first of all, I see that I've forgotten to change the name of the aircraft on the top screen, but don't worry. So this plane has a funky designation. You would think it would be something like A223, so Airbus A220-300, but no, it is BCS 3 for some 2 or 3. It's BCS 3 for some reason. And this is what we're going to stick with. So BCS 3, they're just going to show up. There it is on top of your screen. So done. All right, let's get back to the flight planning. So let's bring up the flight plan itself. We can see Betsy's microphone here. So we got Swiss Airlines 223, and we're going from Zurich to Francisco Carneiro. That's the Portuguese name for Porto Airport. We are expecting cost index. Well, no, this plane doesn't use cost index. I'm sorry, but it does. We are expecting cruise at Mach 0.78 or 0.78. That's what I mean. So we are expecting zero fuel weight of 50.4. This is something, of course, we will see during the planning, and our block fuel at Zurich will be 7.43, and that's exactly what we're going to fill in. Let's see if we have step climbs. We do. So we're going to request this step climb and add it into via CPDLC for you guys to see how it works. We need to log on the station, and then we need to switch stations between when we fly through airspaces. So all of that is modeled with the modding, and yeah, it's going to be cool to see that as well. So now that the flight plan is loaded, let's load in the weights. So we're going to import from Simbrief. There it is, all the weights in, including those that we just saw, zero fuel weight, for example. And let's load the aircraft accordingly. So we just press here, and the plane is instantly loaded in. Let's put the bright theme here, because the light one doesn't work that well there. Much better. So you see that we just load the Simbrief here and press load aircraft, and the plane is fully loaded. Again, nothing changed on the EFB. Still missing an en route chart or en route map for flight following, and the charts are still not following the aircraft here. But one thing is positive. Navigraph is working again, so we no longer have the token expire. That's a good thing. I do, however, miss where is the airport chart. So if we go page by page, you will notice that we only have parking stands. Where is the airport layout? So there's the briefing, no airport layout. You come down here, you go through all the SIDs, including transition stars. Again, there's going to be some info here. Airport briefing, still not airport layout, just briefing, arrival instructions, all that. Nothing is airport layout. And even go to the IAC, so these are the approaches and all that. The airport charts are not anywhere to be seen. You need to go to all. Olá, Dinis, boa tarde. You need to go to all, and then it will be eventually somewhere. There it is. So where is this page? It's supposed to be on the AGC, but it's not. It's weird. But anyway, we're not going to use this chart because it doesn't have flight following. We're just going to consult the charts during flight. That's the only thing this icon here is good for. So let's go here to ground equipment, make sure the plane is fully ready. And now we're going to turn it on. So let's go to auto batteries. This plane will come to life. And since we got ground power, let's connect it. Now I just need to wait for the plane to load up. I'm noticing the FMS is crashing a lot. Olha lá. Sim, boa tarde. Sim, é verdade. Vamos fazer mais voozinho agora de volta ao Porto, que é para ver se iniciamos a nossa volta ao mundo. E logo a seguir, vamos lá ver. Vai para o Porto, depois tem que partir de Lisboa, portanto ainda vai haver um voo até Lisboa. Vamos ver que avião é que eu vou levar, mas depois daí vamos fazer a volta ao mundo. I was just explaining to Denise here that I'm prepping, so I'm returning to Portugal with the objective of commence my world tour flight, so we'll see how that goes. So running on the power on checklist, we just confirm that everything is turned on and dandy. And there's a new item here that you need to pay attention to. So let's go here to the overhead page. And right here on the overhead page, we are going to turn on the hydraulics, the 3A, 3B, and 2B. So that one's done. So all the FMS is now starting its automatic lineup, and you'll see that you got equipment cooling inlet select auto. And if you go back to the overhead, it's already in auto. So what's up? So some airlines have this, the equipment cooling, the inlet is off by default or when on the ground, and so that's a new feature. Even though the button isn't lit, see that it's not lit, when you press it, you notice that it's unpressed. So you press it in and nothing happens. If you press it again, nothing happens, but you know it's pressed in. And if you come down here, now the item is checked. So this is an automated check, but you cannot check this item manually. And so I think it should be off. The LED should be turned on, just like this one in use. The LED should be off, but for some reason it isn't. So for example, if you press this one, you see that the APU gen is off. That one should also be off, but doesn't light up, so I guess it's a bug. But in any case, this is not a bug. And I think the item should be like inlet select auto. I think the pushed in mode is auto. So since it's not on auto, you can be mixing up with the exhaust one. It's not the exhaust one that's not on auto, it's inlet one that needs to be on auto. And the auto mode on this overhead panel is pressed in. Ah, boa, Trinês. Eu por acaso tenho que voar com o 125 também, a ver se um dia eu vou fazer um voozinho com o 125, que é um helicóptero que eu gosto muito. Alright, so power on checklist is done. Now, we are going to do the pre-flight checklist, but in order to accomplish it, we need to start the flight itself. So let's come here, and we have the Navigraph from 6 August to 2nd September, which is correct. Let's go here to flight plan, and let's get a couple messages, no big deal. Let's uplink the flight plan via Simbrief. And there we go, we got the secondary flight plan from Zurich to Porto. Flight level 330 is the initial flight altitude, flight plan altitude. So now we are going to activate. First of all, let's plan the wind. And this could be, we can do this on the active. So activate, execute. Now we can come here to the field page on the active panel and just load it in. First of all, let's tell GSX to load the packs.
Boarding requested.
And let's Swiss port. And there they come. Here comes the jetway as well. The ground equipment was clear. You noticed that we had this huge weird tug here, as well as the catering van on our side. That's gone. That's just Flight Simulator's default ground equipment, which is something you cannot turn off. I've noticed sometimes it shows up and it's just a pain in the neck. But now it's off. Now it's just using GSX as it should. Alright, so let's go here to our flight plan again. Let's go for departures and notice that, no, do not touch it. Notice that I haven't chosen anything because I need to request clearance. So let's do that. How do we get to the CPDLC page? Pretty easy. With this mod, you go to CNS, which is the radios, and you'll notice that there are two new icons here. So DLK, which is Datalink and CPDLC. So let's go first to DL Datalink, and you can come here to the AOC init data, and you can request it, the data initialization. Now, this is I'm not entirely sure if it should transmit all the data here to the FMS. In other planes it does that, so it basically loads the flight plan, but since we already did that with EFB, I think it's going to give out an error because it's already loaded in. So it's going to say something like unable to accomplish or something. In order to see the messages, you can come here to CPDLC and you see the message log here if it's applicable. One thing for sure that you need to do is log on. So if you come here to tune, you notice that my flight ID is already here. If it's not here, you need to insert that on the logon settings. So you need to come here to log on, flight ID, and now we're going to set our logon. So we're going to log on to Zurich first. So that's the first station. Sorry, ZK. My bad. So LSZH. Yeah, that's it. Press it here. Send logon, and LSZH has been notified. If you use Beyond ATC, you can confirm if the messages has gone through. Right, look. Auto tune, okay. So you can check here if nothing's tuned, of course, but if you come here and you've noticed that nothing came through, then nothing will show up here. That means that you're not correctly set up. So you need to come here to System Info, Settings, and make sure that first of all you got your logon name, which I do, and you select your ACARS and Datalink source. So I'm picking Beyond ATC, as you can see here. You can also use same tensions and Hoppy, but I'm using Beyond ATC. And apparently we are logged in. So now we're gonna request logon. Here we go. So let's see now. Do we have Datalink? So request again. Departure clearance, and now we are at gate Alpha 13, so let's insert that data. Alpha 13 into the gate. Alpha 13, my bad. Not entirely sure if I'm logged in or not. We got the 80s Papa, let's confirm that's the latest. Yep, that's the latest, and we are at facility LSZ.
This way, please.
H. Alright. Into the facility. Now we can press send, and we just requested CPD. PDC, sorry, pre-departure clearance. Alright, now we can come here to the log. It says here that's been requested, pre-departure clearance, and we can come here to Beyond ATC and notice that our pre-departure clearance has gone through. So we now just wait for the plane's answer, well, the plane to receive the answer. And there it is, CPDLC is lit up, and we can see that we are cleared for Porto, runway 28 departure via Vebi to X-ray, climb via SID to 7,000 feet, squawk 4753, at is P, so at automatic traffic information system. All automatic information is Papa. When ready, call 121755 if unable, revert to voice. Right. So we accept it, pressing this button here, and there we go. The CPD or PDC is accepted. How do we load back? So this is a good question. You kind of struggle with this, but no worries. You can come here to CPD, and you'll notice that it has a log of every message, so you can just load it here and just fill in your flight data. So again, we're going to go via runway 28.
Good evening.
There it is. Via Vebi 2 X-ray. There it is. And so door slide is disarmed. Okay, so emergency lights off. We need to turn them on. It's all right. All right, and now we got our departure clearance done. Pretty cool, isn't it? And now, from now on, you can log on to all stations. I'm going to log on while taxiing to CPDLC station because I have a lot of work to do, and I'm just me solo here. So I'm going to leave CPDLC for now. We just saw how Datalink works, and as you can see, you can request the departure clearance, the oceanic clearance. You can request ATs, so all of that can be done. CPDLC is used for in-flight requesting, so monitoring altitude, speed, route, so all the changes that you need to do. Instead of asking your flight, your ATC, you can just request it here. So it's a way of decluttering the radio waves, and it works really well. But for now, we just need to confirm. So we just received yet another message, clearance confirmed, confirming that we confirmed. We will code the message, and now it's confirmed. Alright, so again, let's continue with our prepping. So we're going to set flight level 070, which is coincidentally our transition altitude, which we're going to set right here. So performance, climb, and we're going to set 7,000 as our altitude. But we can also do that for Porto, which is flight level 040. Bam. Alright, so departure, we'll need to calculate the weights and all that. We'll do that in a second. As for the flight plan, we're going to set it up here for the route, so it looks good. We can go to VA2 to see if we have any discontinuities. Currently we do not. We will have some during flight. As you can see, most of the flight is direct too, so it's not using an airway for some reason. I see Simbrief keeps doing that for some reason, but it's alright. If you know of airways, you can use them. If not, you can fly direct to points. It's alright. It's just a, small thing. So let's go back to performance. Let's come here. Now we know which runway we're going to use. So we're just going to bring this up again so I can understand. It's runway 28, takeoff performance. We're going to sync with the FMS, sync with weather. Weather doesn't sync in my system for some reason, so I need to come here to DATs and insert all this data. So 180 at 5, that's our wind. Sometimes it doesn't register the key presses. OAT is 30, quite hot in Zurich today. And the altimeter is 1017. Done. And now we can calculate. We got V1 123, VR 129, V2 135. We're going to set up with flaps 2, and we're only going to remove 10% of the thrust today. That's because it's a little hot. Right? We can send this to FMS, and bam, there it is. So all the speeds are in here. We're going to set takeoff 1. We can accomplish that climb 1 as well. We're going to arm our APR mode, so it basically allows the engines to have extra oomph. If one fails, the other will take an extra oomph to carry on the climb. Engine available and standard profile. Looks good. Set to V speeds, complete, execute, done. Alright, so we got a flight limit, speed limit done, route is done, flight plan is complete, we got everything set up. Our passengers have been loaded in. So now we can come back here to our checklists, airplane documents, operations, engineering. We can do it right here, we don't need to do that. Gear pins are in, overhead panel, so we're going to scan the overhead panels. This is a captain flow, by the way, so we just, dome light is off. This is always lit. It's like a background line, but it's turned off for now. Windows and probe heats are all turned to auto. CVR, nothing happens. We should be able to press and hold and see a light come up here. Just adding a little more color to our overhead panel. Coming up here, all the lights are off. We should be able to test these, but the plane is so experimental that I'm afraid to test any of these and have a failure. Hydraulic system, electrical system, all set to auto. As you can see, the only thing it's turned on is external power, which is a non-standard operation. We can start our APU now. Fuel is all set to auto. Everything is set basically to auto. When we start our APU or turn it off, we should trim air, so we're going to turn it off for now. See, this is what should be happening on the inlet, that off backlight. So the packs are set to auto and the bleed set to auto. NTI is set to auto. Today we will probably operate these in the abnormal situation. I'll show you later. ELT set to arm, so this is the emergency locator transmitter, just in case the plane ditches else on the ground or on the sea or on the water. The ELT will trigger automatically. This is like a beacon to locate the plane in case of emergencies. Equipment cooling, we've been through that. Pressurization all set to auto. This is set up by our FMS altitudes. We don't need to mess with this unless there's an issue. We're going to set emergency lights to arm. Wipers are both off. And now for the lights, we can turn on the logo lights, wing inspection. All the external landing lights and taxi lights are off. And we set our passengers and no PD, so no personal electronic devices, to on. Right, done. As for the glare shield, we're going to set up here, so we're going to establish our runway heading. So we are going with runway 28. We're going to come here to our charts, and this is when I need this charts, but in particular. So because I need to check the runway heading, and it's 273. So this is what we're going to set up here, 273. And 7,000 feet as briefed. We're also going to turn on nav mode, VNav mode. We are going to set our squawk for today, which is 4753. Sorry, 4753. Okay, done. So we got landing elevation. This is something we're going to need to look into mid-flight. Alright, looks good. We are currently having an auto-flight fault because we are missing the weights, so we need to insert the weights, my bad. So we're coming back here to flight plan, fuel, and now it's all part of the flight planning, and we would get there anyway. So again, so zero fuel weight 50,585. So this is in kilograms, 50,585. So do not try to insert in tons like 50.5. It's going to be messy. It's not going to accept it. Our CG is 23.4. We got our block fuel is 7430. Hello, what's up? This. Oh, yeah. So 7430. So whenever you can't write here, it means that EFB is probably prompting for your keyboard. And we got 127 passengers, almost a full house today. Again, see, need to be careful there. 127, and now execute. And now the what's up? FMS fuel. What's up? Check block fuel. 7430. 7430. Oh, stand by. Now it's correct. So for some reason it didn't load the fuel correctly, but now it did. Alright. So it's 127. Yep, 127. Done. Alright, so now we're done. Now we can activate VNav mode. There it is. And now we don't longer have the auto flight fault. We do have the auto flight fault. Why is that? Let's turn off all the nav modes. Now, done. Alright. So we press this button for the toga mode. So we need to have TO and VTO. Alright, glare shield done. As for displays, we've checked the displays. There are ways to run tests on the displays, but I've not come through that. I don't think Synaptic enabled that either. Icons and info done. Altimeters, so we have altimeters here set to 1017, so let's set that up. Done. And cross-check, remember to confirm your co-pilot has the same center pedestal, so we got our FMS running, so we don't really need to have two checklists here. Flaps up and spoilers retracted are confirmed and checked. We have displays set to normal, our radios are set is fragged. Both engines are idle and the cutoff switches are off. Engine start set to auto. Let's just add a little more light in here. So the reason I'm being careful is because sometimes I rush these things like the checklists, and you all know what happens next. So our door is emergency access, and door is unlocked. This door is always locked, and you just unlock it when there's a challenge from the flight crew to open it. They will ring in, you can look at for planes that have cameras equipped, and then unlock the door for them. That's what that button does. Alright, so let's carry on. We center panel confirmed, pedestal as well, and sight sticks. Let's check the sight sticks. How do you check the sight sticks? Pretty cool how you do it. You come here to flight controls, and even though we don't have hydraulics, we don't need it. We're just testing the sticks. So this is a feature for both pilot and co-pilot, because this page is connected to each side. So I'm just going to test the pilot mode. So full deflection left, full deflection right, full pitch up, and full pitch down. You'll notice that there's a soft hold there because it doesn't go all the way in. It does go all the way to the right or to the left, but for some reason it doesn't go up or down, which is, there's a protection. I'm not going to go into it. There's a protection on this plane to avoid oversteering, but when you're testing the stick, it should be there. But whatever, it's a minor thing. Right, done, complete. So before start checklist, we got the departure briefing. Well, we can go through that, but not right now. We're already running late. So what do I need here? Let's go with the charts. We are expecting. Let's go here to the flight plan. We're expecting maybe 2 X-rays, so let's load that here on the star. Sorry, on the SID. Hello, Andrew. Nice, thank you. Welcome, Andrew. Vebi, so it's Vebi 2 X-ray. Vebi 2K. Where's the 2 X-ray? Right here. So this is our VNAV departure. Pretty straightforward to Vebi, no big deal. But let's pin that chart here. Let's also pin that ground chart, even though we're not going to use it much today. Airport info, pinned. Alright, now we have 2 of these pinned. We are probably just going to leave this one open here. Alright, and that's it. Departure briefing. Consider it done. And APU and external power. So we got APU running 100%. Good. So our APU is running, and our parking brake as required. We just need to close the doors and activate the beacon. And for that, we're going to request ground clearance and request startup. Just confirming everything's dandy. Alright, let's do that. So, in ground, there we go. Zurich ground, Zurich, Swiss 223, request push and stop.
Swiss 223, Zurich apron, pushback and engine start approved, face east.
Pushback approved, face east, Zurich 223. Alright, there we go.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Bridge is coming out. Some minor. We don't need the GSX page now. So minor hiccups, something we've experienced before. I still don't understand how this gate approach system
Departure
works.
checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
It doesn't switch to the aircraft actual approach mode on arrival. It just gives us all this information also in our on arrival, so I'm not sure if this guidance system is working correctly with GXX. Here comes the tug. So one more time, this usually happens.
Locking gear.
FMS resets on its own. Beacon is on. And our before start checklist complete. Let's go before taxi. Just waiting for GSX to request where to face, and we don't know it's going to be face west. So it's raising the nose. So face east.
Release parking brakes, please.
Parking brake released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at wheel.
Started well. There we go. Start number 1. So the trimmer is off for now. Turn it on because we need it for the engines. Oh. Lots of little hiccups here. You also notice that this plane needs to be moderate, it needs to perform monitoring, that's what I mean. So it takes a little longer to start up compared to other jets. Here it comes. Other engines, I mean. The A321neo also.
Please set parking brakes.
Parking brake set.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
FS Labs A321neo with the Pratt & Whitney engines will also have the same issue. It will actually have a countdown to engine start. So when we are taxiing, I'm going to log on to the CPDLC station. This one is actually useful because in this we can see the plane there. Start number 2 when stable. So we're going to taxi to runway 28. Correct? Oh my god, why does this keep happening? So we're probably going to go with our current taxiway then Alpha hold short on Alpha, probably, we'll see. Engine 2 starting up, we can tell GSX to bugger off. So we cannot say engine start completed because there's an issue here detecting the engine state, so we're just going to say stop here and complete
Unlocking
pushback.
gear.
So set flaps 2. As soon as we enter gear, the nose wheel steer off, we'll turn it on here as soon as we get ground movements. Here comes engine number 2. Oil temperature is a little low.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
That's normal. To run the
Left
engines.
is clear. Right is clear.
Just going to wait for the engine start to complete. So we reset the heading. Yet another thing I don't understand why it happens. 273. Alright, it's just warning me that I didn't turn on the nose wheel steering. Alright, so APU is now off, as it should. NTI is not required, flaps 2 selected. We're going to test the flight controls and NICAS and info. So let's go here to flight controls page before we actually move on. So again, Synaptic's flight control. Whoa, that's funky. Full deflection left, neutral. Full deflection right, neutral. Full pitch up, neutral. Full pitch down, neutral. And for the rudder, full rudder left, neutral. Full rudder right.
Lot 3 Victor Bravo, up ramp Echo 51, request pushback and engine start.
Lot 3 Victor Bravo, Zurich apron, pushback and engine start approved. Face west.
Did it
Pushback
perform?
approved, face west, lot 3 Victor Bravo.
I think it did, didn't it? Oh yeah. I did perform pushback, even though it had the chocks on. I thought they had cleared that, but apparently not. Zurich ground Swiss 223 request taxi for the active.
Swiss 223 taxi to holding point Alpha 1 runway 28 via inner Alpha.
Taxi to holding point Alpha 1 runway 28 via inner and Alpha Swiss 223. There we go. Switch to taxi lines, everything looks PG. And we got our flight controls tested, so before taxi checklist complete. Let's go for the before takeoff checklist here. Let's go back here to our map mode for now. And there we go. Parking brake off. Beautiful sound, although there's some issues here. Oh, sound just broke off for some reason. There's some issues here with this sound kit that was provided for this plane. So when
Lot
we
3 Victor
land,
Bravo, ready to taxi to the active.
Lot 3 Victor Bravo, taxi to holding point Bravo, runway 28 via Delta, Foxtrot Bravo, Juliet Bravo.
Taxi to holding point Bravo, runway 28 via Delta, Foxtrot Bravo, Juliet Bravo, lot 3 Victor Bravo.
it's still not working, alright. So we need to lower sound in a moment. So when we shut down an engine, the sound continues to be heard on both. That's a bug. It shouldn't be that. I mean, if we turn off the right engine, you should only hear the left engine, right? And vice versa. But it doesn't work that way in this plane for some reason. So something to review probably. Alright, let's go back here to CNS. Let's go to CPDLC, and now we're going to request a log on the next station, which is, we can see it right here, LSAZ. So let's do that. LSAZ. Making sure we don't mess our taxiway. And notify again, because I tested it, didn't log in because it was not logged on the right station. So request log on. I'm not sure this is supposed to be done on the ground, so I apologize if I'm doing it wrong. Here come the hiccups again. Quite a short taxi today. It's alright, we're going to request it mid-flight.
Swiss 223 contacts your tower 118.1, have a good evening.
Switching tower 118.1, Swiss 223. So I apologize for the sound breaking off. I'm not sure what I can or can't do when this happens. So we're carrying on for waypoint, holding point Alpha 1, which is, I believe, this one right here. That's Alpha 2. Yeah, sound is breaking out really bad. So Alpha 1
Approaching 2-8.
is well, this one right here. Alright. And we're going to request departure.
Swiss 223 ready for departure, runway 28.
Swiss 223, Zurich Tower, wind 140 degrees, 9 knots, runway 28, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 28, Swiss 223. I allow
Zurich Tower, Swiss
Beds
849
here,
Whiskey, ILS approach runway 14.
Someone's coming on the ILS.
Swiss 849 Whiskey, Zurich Tower, wind 140 degrees, 9 knots, runway 14 clear to land.
Runway 14 clear to land, Swiss
Embraer
849
plane there.
Whiskey.
Lot 3 Victor Bravo ready for departure, runway 28.
Lot 3 Victor Bravo, number 2 for departure. Hold short of runway 28.
On
Hold
runway
short of runway 28,
28.
Victor Bravo.
Runway 28 confirm. Before takeoff checklist, we should have run this already. FMS, trim set, flap set, NTI is not required, auto brake set for RTO. ACAS and info thrust set will be set. Runway confirmed and cabin is ready. Good. Here we go. 50% on N1 and out. Mono throttle engaged and toga. There we go.
Lot 3 Victor Bravo, runway 28. Line up and wait.
Runway 28, line up and wait, Lot 3 Victor Bravo.
Just checking. 80 knots thrust set. Xbox Live is having some issues with connection these last few days. V1, rotate. There we go, brakes on. Positive rate. Here.
Zurich Tower, Swiss 9 Yankee Hotel, ILS approach runway 14.
Swiss 9 Yankee Hotel, Zurich Tower, continue.
Wilco, Swiss 9 Yankee Hotel.
Lot 3 Victor Bravo, Zurich Tower, wind 140 degrees, 9 knots, runway 28 cleared for takeoff.
Runway 28, cleared for takeoff, Lot 3 Victor Bravo.
Swiss 223, contact Zurich departure 125.955.
1235 decimal. Oh my god, what
Negative Zurich departure on 125.955.
125.955 Swiss 223.
Negative Zurich departure on 125.955.
125.955. That's Swiss 223. Zurich departure, Swiss 223, wind through 3,000 feet.
Swiss 223 Zurich departure identified, climb flight level 160.
Climb flight level 160 Zurich, Swiss 223. Alright.
Zurich departure, Lot 3 Victor Bravo. Good evening, passing 2,900 feet, climbing to 6,000 feet.
Lot 3 Victor Bravo, Zurich departure, good evening, identified, climb flight level 190.
Climb flight level 190, Lot 3 Victor Bravo.
Let me check brakes if they're on the nose wheel, front nose wheel. Oh, forgot to strobe on. This is usually pilot not flying flow, so that's why I'm having trouble running everything on my own. There's a reason why pilots fly with duos. It's alright. Olá, Angelo. Boa tarde. Boa tarde. Peço desculpa não ter visto. Hello, Angelo. Hello, Traxi. No big deal, buddy. I also started late, sooner today. I wanted to make a day flight. I keep complaining about that, so here we are, day flight. I also didn't load the terrain, so it's not going to work because I need to load the server. Lots of things to set up before a flight, to be honest with this plane. It's just not worth it. This should be part of the plane already. Alright, server loaded, so let's select terrain, and now we have terrain. Passing 10,000 feet, external lights off. Let's run the after takeoff checklist. Landing gear is up, flap set 0, NTIs not required, all set to auto, and ACAS checked. So after takeoff checklist complete. There should be different checklists here for different SOPs. So a lot of companies have different SOPs regarding after takeoff. For example, they have above the line and below the lines, usually around the transition altitude and after 10,000 feet. So yeah, these checklists are a bit incomplete.
Lot 3 Victor Bravo, contact Swiss radar 133.905.
Contact Swiss radar 133.905, Lot 3 Victor Bravo.
So plane's clean, spoilers are in, looks peachy. Alright, so now that it's stable, let's go back to CPDLC and request log on again. Swiss 223.
Negative Swiss radar
Oh my God.
135.68.
That's what I said, man. 135.68 Swiss 223. Swiss radar, Swiss 223 with you, flight level 130, climbing for flight level 160.
Swiss 223, Swiss radar, good evening, identified climb flight level 330.
Flight level 330, Swiss 223. So we got an ATC message. Let's look at that message now. And there we go. Log on accepted. Current ATC is Alsace Sierra. Log on accepted again. So it just logged on twice. Probably only accepted when I was airborne. It assumed both logons. Alright, so from now on we are with CPDLC, and every route or change or altitude or speed that we need to change, we no longer need to request via radio. We can request it on the CPDLC network, which is pretty cool, as you will see later. For now, let's keep on flying. We don't need to change anything. And also, all the station changes will now be handled by CPDLC, which is very cool for decluttering your workload and having to speak with ATC. We're just leaving this SID now. So we're going to go back here to map. Alright. Because Betsy likes to see the map too, right? Let's just populate here with some important information with BSD traffic, as well as our range, altitude selection, and the ETA speed and altitude. So similar information on both pages. Still missing the weather radar on this plane. I really wish they had implemented that. So weather, oh my god, look at that, what a view. our only concern now is to be able to step climb. So we will need to step climb at NIT2. So it's right after our top of climb. After we pass NIT2, we're going to request a flight level change, and you will see how we do that with CPDLC, which is quite handy and fairly easy to do. It's just, you just need to set up things, and it's a very simple setup. We just make sure that you select your provider, and if you use Beyond ATC so let's go back here. I'm going to explain what I'm saying instead of talking about it. So if you come here to System Info Settings, you need to make sure you select either Hoppy, St. Tensions, or Beyond ATC. And if you select Hoppy or St. Tensions, you need to insert the logon key. But other than that, that's it. You don't need to do anything else. You just need to operate as you normally would. You can also just hear these new messages. Alright, looks good. As for the Datalink, departure clearance associated, we have seen this, also ATIS. I've noticed that ATIS here has some little discrepancies, so I'm going to select here for Portugal. And we are going to compare with our current CPDL.
Descent via start to 7,000 feet, QNH1017. Descent via start to 7,000 feet, QNH1017 with 3 Foxtrot. Swiss 3 Foxtrot, contact Zurich arrival 130.56. Contact Zurich arrival 130.56 with 3 Foxtrot.
There it is. So you see now that we got the kilo ATIS, and this is the information. Let's compare with Beyond ATC. It shouldn't be we shouldn't have a discrepancy in the info, but unfortunately I've noticed that we will. But let's see, maybe not today, maybe, oh my god, look at that, it's completely correct. Oh my god, alright, so, my bad. Well, it's not my bad, I've noticed there was a discrepancy, but apparently there's been an update with this, so this was probably fixed, but, I mean, look at that, this is an entire system that's been embedded inside this plane, with both Datalink and CPDLC.
Swiss 5 X-ray Hotel, descent via start to 7,000 feet, QNH1017.
It looks like
Descent via start to 7,000 feet, QNH1017 with 5 X-ray Hotel.
It's working better than not having anything, for sure, but it's flawless, in my humble opinion. I think this guy deserves all the kudos it can, because it is really amazing. They did something that the developer couldn't do, right? So he deserves it. I'm going to talk about it. Say that it needs all the kudos. I'll place a link in the description for you to download this mod. I think if you're using, that was just an update thing. So the guy's called Liz3, Liz3, and I'm gonna add the link below so you guys can download your own copy of this mod. And let me tell you, it's gonna be worth a while. It works really, really well. So what's today's update? So icons view, refresh, icon, uplink, downlink, arrows, fixed issue, icons view, a message over post line. And it says it's going to make another update on Tuesday. Nice, because it's predicted to have compatibility with the next Synaptic update. Nice, very cool. So, again, I'll have a link on the description below after we end the live. Alright, so here we go. There's one example of CPDLC messages. Now we need to contact LSAC Swiss radar on 128.905. So we're going to accept it. And now we tuned in.
Swiss radar, Swiss 223,
how easy
flight
is that?
level 260, climbing to flight level 330, direct weather.
Swiss 223, Swiss radar identified.
Cool, isn't it? I mean, it's minus one thing the ATC needs
flight level 330 direct data.
Swiss 223, Swiss radar identified.
The reason why
Swiss radar,
we had two successive
flight level
log-on requests or handovers is a VRAAS thing, so you don't see it here, but there are boundaries between stations. Sometimes the same station will have the same sector will have different stations, and we were just in the limits of transitioning from one station to another. And sometimes that happens. So there's a new ATC message. So you see here, embedded in the ACAS system. So I come here to CPDLC message log. The log-on has been accepted because we switched stations. And we are current unit is LAZ. Swiss radar.
Ryanair 2 November Charlie.
And the message is clear.
Ryanair 2 November Charlie, descend via start to flight level 190.
Descend via start to flight level 190. Ryanair 2 November Charlie.
Right,
Swiss radar flight full, -6 Romeo Juliet, flight level 370.
France Solo 906 Romeo Juliet, Swiss radar identified. Qatar 037 Heavy, contact Paris Control 132.1, bye-bye.
just reducing the UTC sound. I usually do that here on the audio panel, but it's not working yet.
France Solo 19
See, I'm just moving it, it's nothing. It's nothing else.
Speedbird 7904, cleared Loomis for Lima, arrival runway 30.
Cleared Loomis for Lima, arrival runway 30, speedbird 7904.
Ryanair 12 Yankee Papa, descend to flight level 080.
Descend to flight level 080. Ryanair 12 Yankee Papa.
Fueling 1 Golf Juliet, contact Marseille Control 134.26, bye-bye.
Center 134.26, fueling 1 Golf Juliet. Swiss radar, Genex 1365, flight level 370.
Genex 1365, Swiss radar, identified.
Swiss radar, Nebula 520, flight level 360.
So we're still climbing here.
Ryanair 6 Quebec,
Flight level 330, and after we reach the top of climb, I'm going to request closer to midterm our next step climb, which is flight level 370. Now this plane has an intriguing feature here. So if you're flying above flight level 350, you should turn off the anti-ice automated system. I'm still unsure why, but I believe that the system is continuously scanning for ice, and at such altitudes it's going to be ineffective or malfunction, and we just need to avoid icing conditions at those altitudes, which is quite difficult if we don't have a radar, but it's possible. We just need to look at the outside temperatures and avoid running into clouds at such altitudes, because condensation will provoke ice on the wing, and since our automated
ready for descent.
Ready for descent. Follow me T2 Romeo Tango.
Follow me T2 Romeo Tango, descent to flight level 140.
Descent to flight level 140. Follow me T2 Romeo Tango.
Coming up on 330 on top of climb.
Ryanair 120, propel descent to 4,000 feet, QNH 1014.
Descent to 4,000 feet, QNH 1014. Ryanair 120.
Weather is closing in. So
Ryanair 120.
this is probably that phase where our briefing said we would encounter some turbulence, so we need to be careful now from now on. We will be climbing over the weather.
Arrival runway 18 center. Clear passenger Alpha arrival runway 18 center, KLM 1620. Follow me T2 Romeo Tango, descent to flight level 070.
Descent to flight level 070. Follow me T2 Romeo Tango.
Ryanair 120, proper contact.
Alright, so we're coming up on 330, so let's request to CPDLC to climb
Good day.
flight level
Ryanair 655
70.
Ready for descent, Ryanair
As
655
you can
whiskey.
see, it's on 330, so we're going to request 370.
Descent to flight level 170, Ryanair 655 whiskey.
Ryanair 6 Quebec Tango, report ready for descent.
Alright, so
Ryanair 6
due to aircraft performance,
Ryanair 6 Quebec Tango, descent to flight level 170.
Descent to flight level 170, Ryanair 6 Quebec Tango.
again, if you want to be sure we're here, just request it to the right station. You can come here, filter traffic, and you will see that if the message has gone through from the plane to me on ATC, you will see the message here, and you can also see the reply. There it is, climb to flight level 370, so it's been authorized. But if you don't want to cheat, you can just wait for the plane's response. There it is. Climb to flight level 370. We can either accept here or use the little shortcut buttons here. Accept. Let's carry on climbing to flight level 370. We'll now initiate another climb to 370. There it goes. Very slowly. Remember, we're climbing above expected altitudes. For some reason, we can't, well, we can't, trees. We can set it here to flight level 370. I also forgot to insert the flight number, so it's SWR 3223. I'm telling you, it's so many things to perform on this plane that doing it solo, it makes things 100 times worse, more difficult. Alright, back to our flight plan. No longer need the terrain, by the way. And we got our new top of climb, as we should. As easy as that. No need to hassle with the comms. I wish Beyond ATC could simulate CPDLC a bit better. It's including AI, so AI traffic speaks way too much. In modern times, without CPDLC, probably just older planes without that equipment would be reaching the stations by radio. Hey, if you want populated skies, then I completely understand and agree that it makes things a little more interesting. When we reach the top of climb, I'll accelerate time. So right now at this altitude, if you see clouds, you should probably avoid them. But you know, some of these clouds are way high, but we don't have a weather radar simulated right now on the plane, so it's really hard to tell. We'll do our best visually to read clouds. I think we're going to fly over this weather, to be honest. This is probably that turbulent sector we were talking about during the weather briefing. So here we are at cruise altitude. We actually achieved it or reached it before the DOC notification, which is great. Oh, I said 378, I meant FL 370, not 378. Sorry, now the top of climb is clear. Right, now is about time to accelerate time, or the redundancy. So we're gonna start with max, now let's go max 4, plane can handle it. I've done this a few times, it does handle it. Okay, there we go. Times 4 set.
Contact posture radar 133.355 Ryanair for Golf Alpha, bye-bye.
As you can see in the lower part of your screen, times compressed 4 times. So you will have some weird looking clouds forming because the weather system is trying to keep up. StrataWX is good, but it's still conditioned by Flight Simulator's own weather generation system. So it's not fail-prone. See now the clouds are forming before your eyes. We've been flying above for more than 30 minutes now. I believe this flight will last another 20 minutes or so till top of descent. We'll see, maybe less than that. handle traffic correctly. It looks like that it's only generating traffic left and right, and which it's not loading traffic ahead, so that could be a problem. Let me confirm here in my VRAAS external app if we do have an issue there. I do know that there was an issue with frozen aircraft after a while. I'm checking if there's moving. Yeah, I think they're moving. Right, they are moving. Alright, so -1 worry. These are ahead of us, but still looked like there was a bubble of no planes. There's still a bubble up there, but probably coincidental. Beautiful day to fly, isn't it? Outside from the 737 is this little button here, half bank. So whenever you have your turns in cruise mode, when you have your seatbelt signs off, it's cool to have this button to cut the airplane's turn capabilities, so that the passengers won't suffer like an abrupt turn. It's going to be a smooth turn. Pretty cool. The 737 you can actually adjust at different levels, I believe from 15 to 30 degrees maximum. Usually set on auto, the plane chooses what it wants to do. On the Airbus you don't have that type of selector, the plane just decides what's best during cruise, especially given the speed and altitude it will perform the turn. Greater or more narrow turns. Of course, when you want to maneuver in the terminal area, you want to turn that off because the plane will be course, Strata is still being updated. They are actually preparing an alpha now for the next few days. I'm not going to get into the alpha because I don't want to have issues. They advised people that don't want to have the experimental not to try the alpha.
Weather control, air Ojo 1085, good evening.
Sun setting.
Flight level 370, climbing to flight level 400.
Air Ojo 1085, weather control identified.
This plane is, so we got update 103. The plane is still a bit heavy, to be honest. It's still heavy. It's not a light plane to fly. Synaptic did a great job reducing the polygon count, but I think they still need to work a lot more on that. The plane is still very heavy, and I don't honestly think they can do much more, like a miracle work, to reduce the polygon count in such a way that it doesn't look bad. So I think they will be able to streamline the plane further, but not that much. I don't know. Prove me wrong, Synaptic. But what I think they can reduce is the cockpit fidelity. So I'm going to give you an example. So let's go back to the cockpit here. I'm going to zoom in some of these textures, and we do live. I love detail. I do. But some of these textures are way too detailed. Come on. You don't need to have this level of detail. And this makes the plane heavy. Let me give you another example. So all these knobs have little dents here. Look at that. You don't need to have this level of denting. I mean, it looks awesome when you zoom in, but who's going to do that? Who's going to do that on a regular basis? They did it. You can notice that the lettering is pixelized, so there has been some optimization, but not everywhere. So still, there's some very sharp lettering still. I think that's where they need to work on a little bit. We all love detail, we do, but not everybody has a great machine to have this kind of textures. Look at that, how close we are. The little cross is faded, but look at this. And yeah, some of these could be reduced. Look at this. How detailed is this little knob here? It doesn't need to be this detailed. Message contact Porto control. Alright, let's accept that. I'm really noticing not a lot of planes utilizing different telephones. But that maybe the planes are using CPDLC, right? But look at that, no traffic ahead of us. This is worrying me. I mean, there's a new one there, but not on this sector. The entire sector is empty. And this is set to 80 nautical miles. 80. About to cross into Spain, and this entire sector in the southwest of France is completely empty of traffic. I think accelerating time did a number on the traffic generation by the UNATC. You might consider time acceleration, time compression something negative, but it's part of the sound. It's even part of this airplane. Look at that. It's even on the menu here. We're now at 2 times acceleration, and the plane's handling pretty well. So I would think that BRNGC should also be able to handle it pretty well. But I've noticed a few glitches. We actually had a flight, I think it was an A300 by Inibuilds. Coincidentally, another Inibuilds plane, where we were time accelerating. Sorry about that. My microphone was scratching here, my beard. So we were passing over this very area of Porto, and the ITC just lost it. All traffic was gone. Not like this. We still have some traffic, but when we did that with the A300, every single traffic disappeared, and radio auto-tune on the A300 stopped working completely. So we had to tune stations by hand. It only began working again when we manually tuned to Spanish Madrid airspace, and then it recovered. But that was very weird. It's like the plane and CPDLC tried to reach me, and I was on the outside view. So I'm not sure if CPDLC continues to work if we are on the outside view. Remember, this is a mod, so there could be an issue here. And now beyond ATC is, because I'm looking outside, maybe CPDLC doesn't work, and therefore it cannot hand over, and that would create some issues. I'm not sure, but we'll see. So right now it appears to be working correctly again. At least it's talking to other planes, which wasn't a moment ago. We're still in Porto, LFBB. So the CPDLC station is different from the PDC station, so the Datalink station. Usually you tune in the Datalink station. Oh, by the way, I need to set up my arrival. You usually tune in the Datalink station when you're on the ground, and usually on the departure airport for those types of clearances, like pre-departure clearance. But CPDLC uses a very different designation. So for example, for France, apparently it's LFBB for Bordeaux control, so there's probably going to be LFPG for example for Paris, or LFPP or something, I'm not sure. And for Lisbon, you also have LPCC, which is Lisbon Center, and CPDLC will be a different station. It's tuned in by the third radio on this aircraft, so usually this one here is tuned in for data. And okay, let's go to Madrid Center now. You can see here that you just told me that it broadcasts the message. It broadcasts here on the Beyond ATC toolbar, but then you need to wait for the aircraft to receive the message. There it is, ATC message, but it's still not here. What happens if I accepted nothing? Alright, let's go back here. Something happened here. Contact, no control. I just accepted the message, though. So let's do it manually. 132.005. stuff doesn't appear to be sorry, RNAV Zulu for runway 35, so we're gonna pick RNAV and we're gonna set
Flight control,
it
Volunteer 56 uniform
6
Lima,
Charlie,
passing flight level 353,
probably
climbing to
via
flight level
Dakar.
390.
But yesterday I did a couple of tests in Porto and it just gave me vectors, but it's okay. We
Continue
can
climb to
improvise
flight
if
level
that happens.
390, Volunteer 56 uniform Lima.
Actually, when I did last time flight to Porto, there was an issue with Beyond ATC with the Falcon 50. I remember it well. The plane, so the plane was authorized, so we were authorized for our approach, and we got to go around. And after a moment, I've noticed that all planes were having go arounds. And when I looked in closely, all planes were stuck on the ground. So Beyond ATC had an issue with Porto. And with MK Studios, Porto scenery I purchased. And the planes were just stuck. So that's why there was an issue there. We're past the equal time point for quite a moment now. Quite a while. Up ahead, but clouds are playing a trick on us. And given that the sun is set so bright, we can barely see anything below. I can't just ignore this beautiful shape of this sun set. Pretty cool. I honestly don't like the tail section. It looks a bit scratched and maybe exhaust there. But that's the only thing I don't like on this one. Everything else is just looks beautiful. And the PW engines, the GTF engines, they're quite big, so it makes the plane, a little more, how you say it? It has a character. Whereas, unfortunately, I have to say, in the case of the jets from Embraer, the plane looks too slim and the engines look a little too small. But they produce power and flies well. I'm not saying the engines aren't enough, it's just the looks. This plane looks a little more humble. It looks a little more, I like that. And of course the nose section as well. You notice that not all of the A220s have the infamous Zorro mask, but Swiss apparently. It's not really there's a flash that's up on the left side. Let's see if I can show you what I mean. praising Strata for their amazing work in making this weather engine look so smart, and it really looks good. Because I've been stuck with clear sky for so many years, and they just, you know, they got into that position when they feel they don't need to innovate anymore. At least that's the way I see it. So when Strata came along, I think they took a good chunk of the audience because, you know, they did things in a way that it's innovative, but also taking a good step in technology. And so you can have weather that looks like this now. Whereas when you're using active sky, it's pretty standard. It will put clouds where it needs to put clouds, it will put thunderstorm where it needs to put thunderstorm. But, you know, cloud coverage is, for lack of a better word, all over the place. So when you have an overcast condition, sometimes you have a huge cumulus cloud and nothing else. It happens quite a lot, or the other way around. There's complete cloud coverage, but when you go to a certain point, it certainly clears everything around it. It's weird. So there is definitely thunderstorms with this soft flash of light. So we are not going to move away from Madrid Center for a while, so I'll accelerate time again. Maybe max 4 now, just in case we can capture some time now. Recover time. And we'll probably need to hand over manually again, but we'll see.
Madrid Control, KLM 1508, flight level 370.
I didn't have this issue in the previous test. Let's contact Madrid approach. Let's see, will it auto-tune? Yes. Now it's working again, hopefully. Another sound glitch. We got traffic, let's ignore that. We're going way too fast to react to that. We don't even see the plane here. It's probably in the clouds anyway. Yeah, we just passed over. We're so fast right now. We're like Mach 3 or something.
Madrid Control, 2 Golf. Good evening, flight level 360. 2 Golf, Madrid Control identified.
You notice that we constantly have these nose winds since we left Zurich. So there's no helping hand today with a little tailwind. Not today. So another ATC message. Just slow down to read it, just in case it's something that I need to correct. So I noticed the pattern. There's an ATC message, alright, but I need to accept it here, otherwise it won't auto-tune. At least that's the way I see it. Let's see, message log. Alright, it's just the acceptance. Alright. We just accepted log on, so it's stuck there with ATC message. So these messages will not go away because our ATI system is turned off per checklist. So that's why I'm going to just... There's another flash of light. We're definitely flying over the soup, as I usually say. So, this is Spain, Portugal. Will be somewhere near Douro, near the top of the descent there. What is missing on this plane that I really feel that it's necessary? Weather radar is a must. I mean, right now if I had to descend, I would need to be looking outside during the daytime to avoid these clouds. But during the night or low vis, there's nothing to guide you really. You don't really know where the clouds are or the bad weather. That's one thing that I'm missing. Other things that I miss, well, the full integration of failures. Apparently you can do a lot with the circuit breaker page. You can pull up some systems, but the A350 does have an extended failures a training tool. Yes, it's definitely needed. CPDLC and Datalink, this is a mod we're using. I really wish that Synaptic could integrate that. And if not, then just probably create their own CPDLC. And, well, that's odd. That window wasn't closing for some reason. No, it didn't. Other stuff that's missing. The map, the flight following map that we have on most, if not all planes. Nice little map windows to follow planes. The Navigraph integrated moving icon, just like we have here on the data page. We should have that little airplane also in the charts. What else? A better terrain map, because this requires a third-party external program to be running in order to work. I don't think this is reasonable to ask for people that aren't really familiar with computer systems and don't really know how to. I mean, it's no big deal. You just run a program running in the background and then press terrain. That's pretty much it. But you don't want people to download extra stuff to make something work. I know of any other plane that does that. At least any modern plane that does that. So, yeah. Other stuff. Well, there's so many things missing. It's hard to say, really. But, yeah, there's a lot of things missing. I really wish they could just continue working and just load new stuff and stuff that's very important. Just gonna take a look here at the RNP approach. See, this is a bug. So usually you only move this map if you physically press it and move it. But if you for some reason press anywhere on the screen, it assumes it's moving, and if for some reason it's stuck, the map will just wait. So our decision height is 480. Let's go in there. Oh, not in that. So let's select barrel and 480. Done. So this is where we insert our minimums, and it's going to be confirmed right here. Let's contact LM. Okay, let's go. Accept. Message goes away. Now we wait for the new tune. There it goes.
Madrid control Swiss 223 flight level 370.
And let's see, the map just...
Swiss 223 Madrid control identified.
So we're going to have an RNAV approach apparently. Usually it's the RNAV approach. We're going to... Oh my god, stop. We're going to need our course set to 351 degrees. Initial, that's the final course. The initial course will be 350 out of Kulu. So this is a transition point. This will be... Oh, stop. Look at this. I'm not pressing anything. It just... It's like stuck. Look at that. I'm not pressing anything. It just gets stuck. It's going to be a standard glide path of 3 degrees down. We're going to start our initial approach at 3,000 feet. 4,000 at Kulu. 3,000 at PR542. So right here, on this waypoint. Missed approach procedures. Proceed straight ahead to PR544. Then turn left and to Red Bull. Unfortunately, Beyond ETC will ignore completely this procedure, so that's why I don't really follow it that much, but I will follow this. So we're going to set our go-around altitude at 6,000 and then expect further ATC to continue on. So let's go back to indicator 6 Charlie. This is our initial approach. The plane is off the map. It looks like it's off which is really weird to see, but apparently the real plane does that as well. So the ILS on this plane is not an exact scientist, even on the real plane. So real life A220 pilots really do prefer the... What? That's us.
Clear Lincoln 6 Charlie arrival, runway 35 Swiss 223.
Alright, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Sound is a little low for me as well, so that's why I missed it.
Control, 70 Foxtrot Hotel, flight level 388.
Velotia 70 Foxtrot Hotel, Madrid control identified.
See you later, Traxi. So we got our approach clearance. We're probably going to get our descent.
Ready for descent.
Yep. Ready for descent, Swiss 223.
Swiss 223 verify ready for descent.
Ready for descent, Swiss 223.
Swiss 223 descent to flight level 150.
Descent to flight level 150 Swiss 223.
She's auto-responding.
Transavia 7 Foxtrot, contact grid control 134.355 today.
Contact grid control 134.355.
Then we're going to set our V vertical speed to minus 500 for now until we reach the V path. So this is the only way not to not overshoot the V path, is just start as a shallow descent in order to capture the top of descent here. So the top of descent will continue to move forward until we intercept the V path line, which is this one right here. I know it's weird, so the A220 will just initiate the descent and then capture, probably on open descent, and then capture on managed descent. But yeah, it is what it is. This is the way the A220 works, and we have to live with that. I'm not sure what Airbus, or in this case Bombardier, was thinking, but hey, that's the way it does things, and that's the way we do things. Pay attention to passing flight level 350 because you need to turn on the anti-ice system again. Alright, Traxi. It's good that you eat food. You need to be specific about that thing. Eat food. Do you eat anything else? I'm joking, never mind me. Alright, let's go to Lisbon. Lisbon approach. Lisbon control, Swiss 223 with you, flight level 350, descending to flight level 150.
Spot control point 4 November Delta, flight level 380 ahead.
Swiss 223 spot control identified.
There we go. Alright, so now we turn this back on because we passed flight level 350. It auto completes the first descent item. We have our FMS set. We have set our minimums. We are going to set our auto brakes to low. We have checked our... Actually, we didn't. We need to check performance here. Come on, guy. You can do that. So the problem here was that once we reached the V path, the plane will just dive in. And apparently it just oversped a little bit. So what we need to do is just deploy speed brakes to help it decelerate the plane. And yes, this is what the real plane will do. It has a very hard time decelerating on descent, so you need to help it with speed brakes. So coming back here to descent, we already had the flight level change. Sorry, the transition altitude. What am I saying? So we are going to set a VRAAS +5 as usual. We're going to land with flaps 5. We just need to populate the weather now. So let's go to D80s. Select Porto. And now we're going to set our wind is 340 and 10.
Ready for descent, ICER 578.
ICER 578 descent to flight level 2.
Outside temperature is going to be 22. More chilly than in Zurich.
to flight level 150.
Swiss 223 Lisboa control identified.
Right, we're going to land with flaps 5. Usually that's where the plane feels comfortable on the approaches. Although you can select flaps 4, I believe, in order to simulate the Airbus A220 flap 3 config. The less flaps you require, the less thrust you require as well. It saves you about, I don't know, maybe 10% of fuel on the approach. That's quite a difference. Maybe not 10, maybe 5%. Alright, ACAS is checked. We have the spoilers out because we are helping the plane descend. Keep up the rate. And arrival briefing has been
control identified.
just load before landing checklist, although we're a bit far away. We're not that far anymore. Let's return here to the main menu. You know, when I first started using RNAV approaches, I was so scared it would be so different from what I used to do with ILS or Visual. And that was some time ago, so probably when Microsoft Flight Simulator 2004, maybe before 2002 was introduced, that's when we probably started doing our first RNAV approaches. I knew how to do VOR approaches, but RNAV was very new to me. Probably in FS 2004, maybe 2002 was too early. And I was so scared to...
At or above flight level 110, then descend flight level 080, Swiss 223.
Alright, so let's descend to 0 and 8000. The plane will follow constraints, of course. So we got discontinuity. Let's go in there and clear it. Alright, so it's just a discontinuity between the direct approach to InKit and then the initial point for the RNAV approach, which is good. So now these discontinuities appear to be a lot more intuitive than before. Before the discontinuities seemed to be a bit random, but now they're more intuitive, which is good. Some more tweaking to be done, of course. So now CPDLC becomes a little less useful because we are now following a direct procedure. Let's decelerate again.
Euro 16 Foxtrot, contact Lisboa control 127.255, good day.
Contact Lisboa control 127.255, 16 Foxtrot, good day.
So I'm going to remove the auto respond again. I'm going to handle traffic again.
Swiss 223, descend by start to 4,000 feet, QNH 1017.
Descend 4,000 feet, QNH 1017, Swiss 223. So 4,000 feet is coincidentally the transition altitude, which you will see on most RNAV approaches is also the base altitude for the approach itself. So that's pretty handy to know. Let's go for landing performance here. Just to populate this with sync FMS. So what are we? 3.5. We cannot sync the weather, but we're going to set vPilot as 5, so that's the required airspeed addition for flying with auto throttle. Landing weight is 54.1. Now let's insert the wind data. It's going to be 14. So sorry, it's going to be 340 and 10. Just be sure that you press these buttons correctly. Outside temperature is 22, and QNH is 1017. 1017. Whoopsie, we need to pay attention. 17. Alright, now we can calculate, and now this is fixed. Remember the last flights? It was calculating a factor landing distance of 8,000 feet. That was just absurd. Now it's more accurate, 1,229 meters. Regarding this, the basic information that you require here is the factored landing distance. So this is the confirmed landing distance. This is the, I believe, the predicted landing distance according to the current aircraft's performance. But this is the actual required.
Porto approach 120.901.
Contact Porto approach 120.901, Swiss 223. There he goes. Porto approach Swiss 223 with you, flight level 100, descending to 4,000 feet. Passing to
Swiss 323 Porto approach, information like parrot, QNH 1017, expect the RNAV approach runway 35.
Expect the RNAV runway 35, QNH 1017, Swiss 223. Alright. I love it when they understand me. Sometimes they don't, because the way I speak, probably my accent or whatever. ATC sometimes it doesn't. You guys noticed back a few moments ago when I was just reading back frequency, it just didn't like my accent probably. But it's supposed to fly until now, despite the issues we had earlier with the handing over with CPDLC. So let's set here our auto brakes to low, our reverse to yes, landing technique will be manual hopefully, and running condition is dry. So again compute, and now our factored landing distance will be a bit further, so we only have a stop margin of 677 meters, that's more than enough. We're probably gonna exit first on the last exit to the right, because after that we will only have the turnaround area. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So again, we need to search for that airport chart, which is not in the right place. There it is. So what I mean is this is the final exit, so it's Golf and Echo 5. After that you need to go all the way to this turning point here and backtrack. So we're going to avoid that, but we also have a lot of runway to use. So I'm going to try to exit on Golf. We'll see. Ideally we'll exit on Foxtrot 1, but it's not an exact science, unfortunately. Mostly it's conditioned by the way where you touch down. If you do a correct touchdown on a TDZ, you can perfectly execute the exit on Foxtrot 1, but I'm not a perfect pilot, you guys know that. Well, let's turn back, track IR. There it is. Oh, sorry Betsy, I didn't know this from your little face. Sorry about that. We're going a little fast, so I'm gonna stay right here because we're still far away from our net. There's the airport line, by the way. Barely see it.
Cleared direct backhaul, cross Ekla at or above 4,000 feet. Cleared RNAV approach runway 35.
Clear for the RNAV approach runway 35, cross Akulu at or above 4,000 feet, Swiss 223. Continuity. Okay, thank you. So now the plane is decelerating to accomplish the speed reduction. For the approach, we're a bit below the vertical path. It's alright. We just need to reach 4,000 feet. We're just a little bit RNAV is 126 plus 5. Let's go to 131.
Passing flight level 102, descending to 4,000 feet with information line.
Airbus 276 Porto approach, QNH 1017, expect the RNAV approach runway 35.
QNH 1017, expect the RNAV approach runway 35, Air Nostrum A276.
And there we are. Right on the money. Flaps 3. Let's put it on the correct airspeed, minimum approach speed. Flaps 4. And gear down. We're not following the approach, I think. Yeah, we're not following the approach for some reason. Oh, there we go. Flaps 5. Swiss 223. Porto Tower, Swiss 223, established hard nav approach, runway 35.
Swiss 223 Porto Tower, continue.
Continue, Swiss 223. Still not clear to land.
Air Nostrum 73 Juliet Alpha, ready for departure, runway 35.
Air Nostrum 73 Juliet Alpha.
So the reason I descended the gear so far is that it told me to go to my minimum approach speed, and for that I cannot hold the plane at that speed with a proper angle. The plane will just be nose up at such low speed. So I need to lower the gear to offer drag for the airplane to be able to keep up. That's just it. Unfortunately, this is also going to make me increase thrust in order to keep this angle of attack, but hey, at least we're accomplishing ATC. It's telling us to decelerate because it has planes ahead. It needs to clear. 2500 check. Another bug I've noticed is that the plane doesn't yell minimums. It only yells approaching minimums. And this is yet another... Oh, this is motorcycle plane. My bad. Guy. The flight mode change will not clear. Not sure if that's supposed to happen. Doesn't sound like it's supposed to happen. So we're still not clear to land. We're clear for the RNAV, minimum approach speed, continue.
Air Nostrum 73 Juliet Alpha, runway 35, line up and wait.
Runway 35.
It's going to tell another plane to take off first.
Juliet Alpha.
All aircraft be advised information November now go to QNH 1017.
1017. My bad. Now it's correct. And I keep telling you guys, I need a co-pilot to be aware of these little things. Still not clear to land. We are
Alpine 89 Yankee
3 miles away.
departure 120.901.
4 miles.
Contact Porto departure 120.901 Alpine 89 Yankee Golf.
Come on, clear me to land. I don't want to go around. TA only, say. Come on. 1,000 check. Come on. Is the plane clear? The plane's still there. It's gonna be a go around. I just hate this.
Approaching 3, 5.
Swiss 223, welcome back, continue.
Continue Swiss 223. So let's go here runway heading.
Auto throttle. Auto throttle.
Air Nostrum A276, contact Porto Tower 118.005.
Let's climb.
Contact Tower 118.005 and Nostrum 8276, have a good evening.
Good God. That's not good.
Porto, Air Nostrum 73 Juliet Alpha, passing 1,600 feet, climbing to flight level 100.
Air Nostrum 73 Juliet Alpha, Porto departure, identified, climb flight level 190.
Climb flight level 190, Air Nostrum 73 Juliet Alpha.
What are you doing, plane? Oh, it's reaching 3,000 already. So let's go 250 knots. 210 right, because we need to clear off flaps first. Is good. Come on, tell me to turn.
Swiss 223, turn left, heading 270.
Left 270, Swiss 223. I just don't like to go around. It's just not something in me. But hey, at least I didn't go around because of something wrong I did. So now this plane is a little crazy because it clears the approach after a go around, which is not really good. So if you go back here to routes, oh, missed approach. Oh, nice. But still, it says hold at red mode. So we need to come here to performance again. Flight plan. That's the problem I was noticing. And go to arrivals. Select again runway 35 via a call. RNAV and done. So now we can execute. There's a
Enter 6
discontinuity.
Romeo Delta, contact Porto Tower 118.005.
Over to Tower 118.005, enter 6 Romeo Delta, bye bye.
We're just following vectors now.
Swiss 223, turn left, heading 230.
Left 230, Swiss 223.
Swiss 223, turn left, heading 170. Expect further clearance in about 25 miles.
Left 170, Swiss 223.
Porto, enter 6 Echo Mike, passing flight level 115, descending to 4,000 feet with information November.
Enter 6 Echo Mike, Porto approach, QNH
So we're now on
1017, expect the RNAV approach, runway
Left
25.
downwind leg.
QNH 1017,
Probably
expect
all
the
the way
RNAV
down
approach,
to
runway
Porto.
35, enter 6 Echo Mike.
And we have a discontinuity. Alright, I know that. Thank you. So the RNAV approach is once again
Alpine 8
Inserted.
Yankee Golf, contact Louis Ball, control 132.305.
Set on 132.305.
What is weird is that the RNATC told the other plane to line up and wait, probably believing it could clear the departing plane and wait those mandatory 2 minutes of separation and still land me. And I think that was a little too optimistic. I think if it needed those 2 minutes for traffic separation on the ground, then that plane should never be lined up. Because I was already on the RNAV approach at minimum approach speed, but still on the approach. So I think this is a poor judgment from the ATC. But hey, it's AI, it's learning, so we can all disagree on a lot of things. One thing we can agree is that AI doesn't disagree or agree with you and me. So, right, Betsy?
Porto, Ryanair
okay,
7419er, passing flight level 122, descending to 4,000 feet with information November.
Stripe there. You've been co-pilot for so long.
Ryanair 7419 Porto approach, QNH 1017, expect the RNAV approach,
Still wearing sunglasses, huh?
QNH 1017, expect the RNAV approach, runway 35, Ryanair 7419er.
Porto City at night, very beautiful. This is the Matosinhos Harbor. Very big shipping, cargo and passenger, well, mostly cargo. I believe this is also part of the pier of the harbor, this area here, but this one definitely is. One of the biggest harbors in Portugal, by the way. There's also an entry point here, very big. It's probably not as big as Lisbon's, but I think it is. It is bigger than Lisbon's, I think, because it's built towards the sea area. So in Lisbon, it's inland. It's in the Tagus River, Tejo River. So you notice that beyond ETC completely ignored the go-around procedure for the RNAV approach.
Enter 6 Echo Mike, cleared direct Echola, cross Echola at or above 4,000 feet, cleared RNAV approach runway 35.
This is
Cleared
the
direct
correct
Echola, cross Echola at or above 4,000 feet,
Just
cleared
told us
RNAV
to
approach
turn
runway
around
35,
and go
enter
south.
6 Echo Mike.
I mean, after you go to Redmo, the
Nostrum
holding
73
point,
Juliet
you
Alpha,
should
contact
be
with
able
Ball
to go
Control
back down
132.305.
here from
Contact with
ETC
Ball Control
factory, but still,
132.305, Air Nostrum 73 Juliet
you
Alpha.
should be climbing to 6,000 feet. Climb to flight levels 060, but still they told us to climb to 3,000. That's alright. One day beyond ETC will be capable of following charted missed approaches, but not now, not currently. So if you just joined us, I just got around. There was an aircraft on the runway.
Enter 6 Echo Mike, reduce speed 200 knots.
Reduce speed 200 knots, enter 6 Echo Mike.
So we're currently flying downwind from runway 35, so going this direction here so we can recover our approach from the Kulu again. From my experience, say beyond ETC will send me a little bit further than desired, but it's alright. As long as we get to turn in and intercept the Kulu, we'll be fine. We should be intercepting a Kulu at 4,000, by the way, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. There's a plane there coming from
Ryanair 7419, reduce speed 220 knots.
Reduce speed 220 knots, Ryanair 7419er.
Porto, Air Portugal 1705, passing 1,700 feet, climbing to flight level 100.
It's just a plane taking off back there.
Air Portugal 1705, Porto departure, good evening, identified, climb flight level 190. Climb flight level 190, Air Portugal 1705. Ryanair 7419, increase speed 190 knots.
Increase speed 190 knots, Ryanair 7419er.
Ryanair 7419, cleared direct Echola, cross Echola at or above 4,000 feet, cleared RNAV approach runway 35.
Cleared direct Echola, cross Echola at or above 4,000 feet, cleared RNAV approach runway 35, Ryanair 7419er.
Swiss 223, turn left, heading 085.
Left to 085, Swiss 223. Really wish this up would turn a little faster.
3000 feet until established. Cleared RNAV approach runway 35.
My bad. Clear for the RNAV approach runway 35, maintain 3000 feet, Swiss 223. We need to go to
Ryanair 7419er, resume normal speed.
Resume normal speed, Ryanair 7419er.
let's reduce speed here for the sake of our friends here. So we are clear for the RNAV, so let's turn in approach mode. And now let's make our turn to Angola.
Enter 6 Echo Mike, contact Porto Tower 118.005, good day.
Contact Tower 118.005, enter 6 Echo Mike, have a good evening.
Let's turn in first, and then turn on the approach mode. Speed check, flaps 1.
Porto, Ryanair 1806, passing 1,500 feet, climbing to flight level 100.
Ryanair 1806 Porto departure, good evening, identified, climb flight level 180.
Climb flight level 180, Ryanair 1806.
Flaps 3. Sorry, flaps 2. One more time. Let's try again. The plane's making its little dance, but for the RNAV it appears to be a little better than for the ILS. Flight mode change, thank you.
Swiss 223, contact Porto Tower 118.005.
Contact Porto 111.005, Swiss 223. Come on, guy.
Negative tower on 118.005.
118.005, Swiss 223.
2500.
2500 check. Porto Tower, Swiss 223, with you again, established RNAV approach runway 35.
Swiss 223, Porto Tower, continue.
Continue, Swiss 223. Speed check, flaps 3, gear down. Approaching
3-5.
Confirmed. We had 5 knots, nose, Bravo. Slightly from the left. Check.
400.
Check. Alright.
Approaching minimums.
Confirmed.
300.
Minimums, continue. See, the plane doesn't tell you minimums.
200.
Slightly veering off.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Airfront 1162, runway 35, line up and wait. Line up
First
and wait,
on,
runway
auto brakes
35,
on.
Airfront 1162.
That's the high-speed Foxtrot 1 exit. Can we make it? No, it's too, speed's too high. Anyway, it's a high-speed exit, so
Swiss 223, exit right at Echo 5.
we got on Foxtrot 1, buddy. Exit at Foxtrot 1, Swiss 223.
Swiss 223, contact ground 121.04.
121.04, Swiss 223. Porto ground, Swiss 223, request taxi to assigned gate.
Swiss 223, taxi to ramp 40 via Foxtrot 1 Echo Sierra.
Ramp 40 via Foxtrot 1 Echo Sierra, Swiss 223. There we go. Flaps up. After landing checklist. This should have been set. Start here. So we're going to need to go to ramp 40 into that. After landing checklist. Flaps up. Complete. Engine 1 is shutting down. We're performing SETI, single engine taxi in. But if I now add power, you're going to hear both engines pulling up, which is supposed to happen. Look at this. You can clearly hear both engines pulling up. Either that or the stereo mix is completely wrong. Message probably saying ATC service is terminated, as it should. Actually, no. It was just this Lisbon approach message that I didn't clear. That's all. By the way, you can clear messages by pressing this little button here. But if you don't, there's let's bring up the checklist here, or shutdown checklist. So, as for just short-sighted, could be that. Ah, there it is. Sierra 40 is the last one on the apron. Sierra, alright. That was just being short-sighted. You can hear both engines spooling up even though one is shut down. Lots of inertia with just one engine. At least that's working.
Auto throttle. Auto throttle.
Who told you you could? You should or you could go full throttle on your own. So Sierra 6.5, we just need to count down to Sierra 4. Lots of stutters at Porto. So right about the middle here. Just look at the ground markings. Sierra 4-3. Let's confirm the GSX selected it, by the way. Nope, see. Not that. So Sierra 4-0. Sierra 4-1. And there's Sierra 4-0 right there. With the little Marshall on it. Let's see if we can make it dance.
Ryanair 53 Mike, taxi to stand 32 via Echo Sierra.
Taxi to stand 32 via Echo Sierra, Ryanair 53 Mike.
Very good parking, but is not dancing. I think it needs to be excellent parking. Parking brake set. And we got APU running, so we can shut down engine 2 and request a boarding. Oh, forgot the strobe on. Looks good. Taxi lights on. We can turn off the passenger signs. And request a boarding.
The boarding requested.
Calm down. Oh my god, look, they're all running over each other. Alright. Alright, let's go for the shutdown checklist. So, nose wheel steering to off. APU and external power, we got APU running currently. And the slides disarmed, that needs to be the cabin mode. Flight control test.
All aircraft be advised information Oscar now current QNH1017.
Attach GPU, attach chunks. Alright, doors are disarmed, so it's good to go. And we're going to go for partial power off. Emergency lights to off. External power in use. APU to off. Battery 1 and 2 to off. Okay. Partial powered off complete. Alright, good to go, and welcome to Porto. I hope you guys enjoyed this flight as much as I did. I really did enjoy this flight, although we had that little unwanted go around. Cabin doors. For some reason, it's not opening correctly.
Passengers bus is coming.
Until you do, it will just not behave correctly. And GSX, I mean. Yeah, the Synaptic A220, I would say it's going on the right track. There's still some bugs, some missing features. The front door is not opening. Why?
Reader 1641, ramp
So there's
36
still some
request
missing
pushback.
features. There's still some items that I think
User 1641.
that Synaptic, sorry about that, that Synaptic needs to solve. That door keeps shutting down. The door keeps closing down. Not sure what's going on there. Who's coming? Oh, that guy's dancing again. Guy's dancing. Why would we do that? If this door closes, passengers will not be able to exit. What's going on there? He's still living. Alright, door open. And it's closed. There's gotta be some issue because the rear door is still open. Anyway, like I was saying, so Synaptic needs to work on several issues with this plane. It's still ongoing, several missing features. I sincerely miss the weather radar, especially on this flight tonight. I'm missing some minor stuff they need to correct, and the plane is still heavy. I had a lot of sound issues provoked by excessive use of memory or vRAAS, and that will complicate things for people with lesser computers, less powerful computers. So yeah, they definitely need to optimize the plane a little better. The little bugs, the little things, those are just bugs. The integration with GSX is not perfect, as you just saw. So that door opens on the EFB but not on the plane. Why? Well, it's little bugs like these that just annoy you, and you just want a flawless flight. Everybody does, but sometimes these things will happen and it'll just make you a little sad because you spent around 71 years on this plane, and those little annoyances will accumulate over time. Not saying it's game breaking, but it could be a lot better for such an expensive aircraft, and I think everybody would agree with me on that. Anyway, let's hope Synaptic and Inibuilds will work these differences out, and not differences, these quirks, these bugs out. And when they do, I'm pretty sure this is going to be one of those planes everybody's going to love for a long time. But until then, these bugs, these little missing features, they need to be addressed urgently. Maybe the next couple of batches. I'm pretty sure about that. So guys, one more time, thank you so much for being here. Thank you Drexy, Andrew, Angelo, and Dinesh, the 4 guys that showed up during the flight. I know today I started a little bit earlier, so I apologize if anybody missed it because of that. These are the little things about live streams that I sometimes can only do when I am available, when I have the availability. So better luck next time. You guys can also watch the replay. Of course, it's saved on the channel, so yeah, most people will watch via the replay anyway. And thank you so much, guys. Have a nice evening. Have a good night. And by the way, the weather in Portugal is going to change, so I believe in Europe it's also going to change. So be mindful of that. It could just happen. You might have a storm coming your way, but you guys know where I'm leaning. Even if there's a storm coming our way, remember there's a blue sky above. That's the Glad Slope signing off. See you next time. Bye.
Through the clouds I reach so high, climbing up to touch the adventure calls me down. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dreams begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the light. The stars above begin to shine, painting trails so bright and fine. Every turn brings something new, endless skies in brilliant blue. The wind, it sings a melody, guiding where I long to be. I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the dreams begun. The world below fades out of sight as I soar into the I'll spread my wings and chase the sun. No limits when the world below fades out of sight as I soar into the